Hey everybody. Um, we're in another Fascinator by Trollop Labs. I'm really seeing an increase in that. So it was hard to figure out what to talk about today because I am experiencing a fair amount of depression today, and so the last thing I want to do is make a video or do anything at all. Um, but that to me seems like an opportunity to talk about depression because I don't think it's described super well in the media. And I think that some of the things we think about depression change the way that we view it in ourselves and others. So people tend to think of depression as sadness. And yes, there can be a component of sadness, but maybe people don't understand that depression can be a lot of just numbness and apathy and just lack of wanting to do anything, not having the energy to do anything, and not because you're lazy, because that's never really been a word that should be applied to anyone in a nice way, because lazy just isn't like a word that's traditionally been thought of in any positive way. Yeah, so depression is a lot of that. Like, I don't want to lift my hand. There's a spoon in my hand and I can't feed myself. Like, right now, I'll say I'm pretty hungry. I had a bit of a snacky dinner and now those calories have worn off, and I'm like, okay, I need to eat. I need to eat food. I know that it would be good to eat food. I don't know that I can will myself to walk into a kitchen and eat food. Um, sleep, you could sleep more if you're depressed, and sure, that'd be great. But that would also involve walking to a bedroom and laying my head on a pillow and sleeping. And even that bare minimum of effort um, is effort. And so if you have a friend who's depressed and they can't hang out with you, it's because they've got an anchor on top of them. Um, but I will say, as awful as it can feel to pull yourself out of bed or pull yourself up off a couch or eat food, it's one of the few things that have really helped me with depression is to do what some in the psychology field called opposite action. So, for instance, I tend to want to isolate when I'm depressed and not be around others. And so I have to do the opposite, which is to force myself, no matter how uncomfortable it is, to be around other people, trusted people, that is, and then I'll usually feel better. Not right away and not every time, but being isolated is not going to help me feel more loved. Um, than just like isolating because I'm depressed and saying, nobody loves me. It's like, well, you're not going around others. You're not allowing people to show you love if you don't actually open yourself up to it. Um, so I guess what else do I want to say about that? I mean, same with food. Like, I don't want to eat right now, but I'm going to have to force myself to consume calories. And it's going to be a lot of effort to do that, but I do need the calories, like, in order to survive. Um, and then I think another myth is like, you should try to cheer people up who are sad or depressed. And it's like, well, just check in with the person about what they need and what they want because sometimes it feels very empty and kind of insulting and patronizing if someone just comes up and they're like, "Don't be sad, don't cry," or probably the best writer on the topic of depression is the writer who does Hyperbole and a Half, and she had this web comic and then eventually a book with her comics and about a woman who says, well, no one can be depressed if they see a sunrise. And it's like, lady, that's extremely patronizing. Like, we all see beauty in the world, but when you're depressed, everything's just like muted, you know? Like somebody went and they erased all the colors from everything. Like we're in a black and white movie and not in a classy way, just like everything's gray. Um, so, yep, I don't want anybody worrying about me. I'm pretty experienced at like what to do with my own depression, I just figured I would post an honest video about it because this in and of itself is an opposite action. This is a I do not want to make a video. I don't want the world to see me right now. And yet I'm making a video and I'm having the world see me because we all need to talk about depression if we want the stigmatized to lessen. So I'm not sure about singing for you. I will say depression can kind of bring on the beautiful music of those minor keys. And so a song like Summertime from Porgy and Bess, which is one of my favorites to sing anyway, lyrically, the lyrics look fairly positive, but when you hear the minor key, it's so sad and so dark. So I will go ahead and sing that song for you. I'm sure on YouTube there's songs of me singing it, but I'll just sing it with this different context. Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, I'm gonna rise up singing. Spread my wings, and take to the sky. Until that morning, there ain't nothing can harm me. With daddy and mommy standing by.